You ever hear your soul crack in half? That's what it felt like the night I heard it. The laughter, the clinking of glasses, the sound of high heels on my hardwood floor, and then that voice. My wife's voice. He's too dumb to realize I've been cheating with his best friend for years. Boom. Like a car crash in my skull. I was in the hallway, just a few feet from the living room, hidden by the corner, standing still like a ghost. I had come home early from a business trip. No calls. No texts. I wanted to surprise her. I brought wine. I was even practicing what I was going to say, something corny like, "Miss me." I should have brought a gun. They were drunk. Sloppy drunk. The kind where the truth just slips out between laughs and refills. Her friends, Tiffany, Rachel, and that blonde mess Jessica, were all there. Loud enough to hear through the walls. But it was her voice that carved the deepest. "She still doesn't know?" Rachel asked, giggling. "Nope," said Tiffany. And then Melissa, my wife, dropped it like a hammer. "He's too stupid to realize I've been hooking up with his best friend for years." Laughter. Screaming. Clapping. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I just stood there holding that bottle of Merlot like it could rewind time if I gripped it hard enough. They kept going. "I mean, how do you not notice?" She kept ranting. "I literally come home smelling like another man, and he thinks it's my perfume." More laughter. I was paralyzed. Not from shock. I wish it were that. It was something darker. Like my brain went cold, my chest was full of gravel, and my mouth couldn't decide whether to scream or throw up. Her best friend. My best friend. There were only a few people that could mean. Nick. Nick, the guy I grew up with. Nick, the best man at our wedding. Nick, who held my mother's hand at her funeral when I couldn't. My knees almost buckled. They kept laughing, making jokes about how clueless I was, mimicking my voice, calling me boring, safe, predictable. One of them, I think Jessica, said, "You should teach a class on how to cheat on your husband without getting caught." Melissa responded, "Please." He'd probably enrolled just to help me pass. That's when I walked away. Quietly. Back down the hallway like I was leaving a crime scene. And maybe I was. I didn't barge in. I didn't scream. I didn't break that bottle of wine over the table like part of me wanted to. No. I smiled. Because in that moment, I saw something she didn't. I saw the end. Not mine. Hers. And oh, it was going to be beautiful. See, Melissa thought she married a fool. Someone easy to lie to. A man who couldn't connect dots even when they were drawn in blood. She forgot who I used to be before her. Before the safe job. Before the suit. Before the house in the suburbs. She forgot I knew how to disappear and take everything with me. So I waited. I let her laugh. I let her drink. I let her destroy herself in that room with every arrogant, venom-soaked word. Because the next day, she was going to come home to an empty closet, a drained joint account, frozen credit cards, deactivated access to every key, passcode, and alarm in our house. And I'd be gone. Not just gone. Erased. And when she showed up at my door crying, let's just say, she got a surprise she never expected. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat in my car across the street, staring at the house I built with her, watching the lights flicker from inside as the party slowly died. One by one, her girlfriends stumbled out, heels in hand, laughter echoing off the pavement like gunshots. And then came Nick. He didn't even try to sneak. Just walked out the front door like he owned the place, hoodie half-zipped, looking casual as hell. That bastard had the same smirk he used to wear in high school when he'd get away with cheating on math tests. He paused on the steps, glanced at his phone, and then walked off like nothing happened. Like I wasn't across the street watching every damn move. I wanted to get out of the car. I wanted to sprint across the street and beat the truth out of him with my bare hands. But I didn't. Because anger fades. Proof doesn't. I already had the security cam footage of him coming over every time I traveled for work. Same time. Same pattern. Always slipping in with that same stupid casual stroll, like he was borrowing sugar. I called my lawyer that morning. 3 hours later, she had everything set. Frozen accounts. Emergency divorce petition. Property lockdown. I had already moved some of the larger assets weeks ago, just in case. Melissa had no idea that the house was in my name only. She never cared about the paperwork, just the decorations. The next night, I waited. Melissa came home late. Of course. She was probably at Nick's or pretending to be with her sister again. She never even asked where I was. I watched her try to unlock the front door. First with her key. Then her phone. Nothing worked. She knocked. Then pounded. Then screamed my name. I let her. For 10 minutes. Just to hear how fast the panic would rise in her voice. Then I opened the door. She looked like hell. Mascara smeared, hair a mess, holding her heels like she had been walking for blocks. Probably left Nick's in a hurry. Tyler, what the hell is going on? Why are my keys not working? I didn't say a word. Just handed her a thick white envelope. She tore it open and started reading. Her lips moved. Her hands shook. Divorce. I raised an eyebrow. Wait, what is this? You're divorcing me? For what? That's when I stepped aside and let her see the open laptop on the table. Her voice. Her laugh. That whole night, every word captured on a small black mic I had placed under the hallway shelf when I came in. She went pale. Tyler, that was just a stupid joke, okay? I was drunk. We were all just, it was stupid. It didn't mean anything. I played the next part. He's too dumb to realize I've been cheating with his best friend for years. She flinched like it was a slap. I finally spoke. Calm. Flat. Controlled. Stupid jokes don't stain bedsheets. Or show up on security footage. Or wear my best friend's hoodie at 2 a.m. Her voice cracked. It was just. I didn't think. You were always so distant lately. I laughed. Not because it was funny. Because it was pathetic. You cheated because I was distant? She blinked fast. I messed up, okay? But we can fix this. I stepped forward. No, you can fix your own mess. Somewhere else. This house? It's mine. This life? You're out of it. Effective now. She opened her mouth, probably to beg, maybe to curse. But I shut the door before either could happen. She stood on the porch for an hour. I didn't care. Because for the first time in years, I slept. The morning after was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of silence that used to make me feel alone now felt like armor. No nagging. No lies. No fake kisses before coffee. Just me, a black mug, and the realization that peace has a sound, and it's the absence of her voice. I checked my phone. 23 missed calls. 11 from her. The rest from mutual friends who clearly didn't know which side to pick yet. I didn't answer any of them. I didn't need validation. I had truth. And that was enough. Around noon, I got a call from my lawyer. Melissa had tried to access our joint safety deposit box. Tried and failed. I had already moved everything valuable out a week ago. Instinct, maybe. Or just that quiet voice in the back of my head that had been warning me for months. It was funny, in a tragic kind of way. All the signs were there. The extra showers. The sudden girls' nights with no selfies. The silence when I walked into rooms. The way she started locking her phone like it held nuclear codes. And I gave her the benefit of the doubt every single time. That was my real mistake. Not trusting her, but trusting her more than I trusted myself. I got a message that evening from Nick. A text, like a coward. Bro, we need to talk. It wasn't what you think. I stared at it for a full minute before deleting it. No response. No energy wasted. That man knew what he did. They both did. And now they had to live with it, without me. Melissa came to the house again. This time in daylight. Her makeup was perfect. Hair done. She even wore the same blouse she had on when we signed the mortgage papers. Like she was trying to replay the past. I watched her through the peephole for a few minutes before opening the door. Tyler, she said, soft. Like she could lull me back into the trap. Melissa, I need to explain. You already did. Remember? He's too dumb to realize. She winced hard. Please stop. No. That was the most honest thing you've said in years. She tried to walk in. I blocked her with my arm. Her face dropped like I slapped her. I want to hawk inside, she said. You don't live here anymore. You're seriously doing this? After everything we've built? After all the years? You burned it. I'm just sweeping the ashes. Her eyes turned glassy. She was about to cry. I could see her working it up, the trembling lip, the blinking, the slow exhale. I used to fall for that. Not anymore. I never loved him, she whispered. It wasn't about love. It was just stupid. I was drunk most nights. I missed how things used to feel. I looked her in the eye. Then you should have had the guts to say something instead of dragging me through a lie. She wiped a tear. I don't want to lose you. You already did. I closed the door, slower this time. Not in anger. Just finality. She didn't bang on it. Didn't scream. She just stood there. And I watched through the window as she eventually walked down the porch and back to her car. I didn't feel victorious. I didn't feel anything. Not yet. But I knew the feeling would come. And when it did, it would be freedom. The first real feeling came 2 days later. Not anger. Not sadness. Relief. I woke up and didn't have to pretend. I didn't have to play the role of the loving husband while wondering who she was texting under the table. I didn't have to fake smiles over dinner or act like her cold shoulder didn't chill me to the bone. The fog started lifting, and with that came clarity. She'd stolen years. Not just moments, years. And she didn't do it alone. Nick, that two-faced piece of trash, had been a guest in my home more times than I could count. Ate at my table, drank my whiskey, cried with me when my father died, all while sliding into my wife behind my back. There's a different kind of pain that comes when betrayal isn't just from the person you sleep next to, but from the one you trusted with your life. It's a pain that doesn't bleed. It burns. I thought about confronting Nick. Not to fight. I wasn't going to give him that satisfaction. I wanted him to see what he lost. The calm. The control. The fact that I was still standing while his whole life was about to collapse. I made a few calls. Quiet ones. The kind that don't leave a trail. Nick's job? Let's just say his HR department received a very detailed anonymous package with timestamps, screenshots, and receipts. Turns out, his company doesn't take kindly to conduct unbecoming, especially when it happens on company retreats that he claimed were business only. His girlfriend? Yeah, he had one. And she didn't know about Melissa. Until she did. Courtesy of another carefully timed message, complete with photo evidence. Her reply? Thank you. He'll be out by morning. I wasn't interested in revenge at first. But there's something about the truth that begs to be delivered. And when it lands, it doesn't knock. It wrecks. Melissa, meanwhile, kept trying. Voicemails turned into emails. Emails turned into handwritten letters dropped off at my office by some mutual friend I barely remembered. Each one more desperate than the last. I miss you. I made a mistake. Please talk to me. I can't sleep. I can't breathe. Funny. That's exactly how I used to feel, lying next to her while she dreamt about another man. But the best one? The cherry on top? I was going to tell you. I just didn't know how. As if years of deceit were just a miscommunication. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. I'd already replied the night I walked away and slammed the door shut on everything she thought she had power over. The truth is, she never expected me to do it. She thought I'd beg. That I'd scream, fight, try to fix it. That I'd be so afraid of losing her, I'd let it slide. Just like always. But this time, the man she thought was stupid had finally looked up and saw everything. She didn't just cheat on me. She underrated me. That was her real mistake. A week passed. The silence stayed. And in that silence, I rebuilt. It's strange how you start to notice the little things again once the noise dies. My morning coffee tasted stronger. The air felt lighter. I didn't have to brace myself before walking through my own front door. I could breathe again because there was no poison left in the walls. Friends started reaching out, some genuinely surprised, others pretending they were. I kept it brief. I didn't want their pity. I didn't need their advice. What I needed was distance. From her, from Nick, from everything that reminded me of how blind I'd been. But not everything stayed away. Melissa showed up again. This time she wasn't crying. She wasn't dressed to manipulate or win me back. She looked wrecked, like life had finally started dragging her face across the pavement the way she did mine. I didn't invite her in. She stood at the edge of the porch and said, "Nick's gone." I didn't respond. I just stared. She continued, "His girlfriend kicked him out. His job fired him. His parents found out." Still silent. "I just thought you should know." I finally spoke. Why would I care? She opened her mouth. Nothing came out. Her lips moved like she was searching for words, but none arrived. For once, she had no lie ready. No spin. No damage control. "I don't expect you to forgive me," she finally said. "But I wanted to say I'm sorry." I nodded once. Not because I accepted it, but because I wanted her to finish and leave. She didn't. She took a slow breath and asked, "Was it ever real? What we had?" That question should have hurt. Should have twisted something inside me. But it didn't. Because the truth had settled in now. And the truth was simple. "It was real to me," I said. "But I don't know who you were during it." She looked down. "I didn't mean for it to go that far," she mumbled. "I was just bored, I guess. You were always working. Nick was always around. It just happened." I laughed. I couldn't help it. "You tripped and fell into his bed for 3 years?" She winced. "You cheated, Melissa. You lied. You mocked me behind my back. And now you're here looking for closure." "I'm looking for peace," she whispered. I stepped forward, close enough for her to feel it. "Then go find it far away from me." She swallowed hard, nodded once, and left. This time for real. I watched her drive away. No tears. No weight on my chest. Just space. Beautiful, clean space. And in that moment, I knew I didn't lose a wife. I shed dead weight. And it felt like flying. The next morning, I stood in the closet, the same one that used to be split down the middle. Half mine, half hers. Now it was all mine. And empty on one side. Where her dresses used to hang, I saw only a blank stretch of wall. I didn't feel pain. Just a strange sense of clarity. Like staring at a battlefield after the smoke cleared. I packed up the last of her things into a box. Not out of bitterness, but completion. I didn't want even a stray earring or perfume bottle hiding in corners. No loose ends. No ghosts. As I taped the box shut, I remembered something she once said during an argument years ago. If you ever left me, I'd fall apart. Back then, I thought it was romantic. Now I realized it was a warning. She didn't love me. She depended on me for comfort, stability, cover. I was her shield while she lit fires behind my back. And when the flames got too close, she expected me to put them out like I always had. But I had finally stepped away. Later that day, I dropped the box at her sister's house. Didn't ring the bell. Just left it at the door with a short note. Nothing left here. Please don't come back. On the drive home, I passed Nick's gym, a place I used to work out with him 3 times a week. I slowed down, expecting to feel rage. But there was nothing. Just a quiet disgust. The kind you feel toward a rotting smell in a nice room. You don't scream at it. You just open the window and never come back. That night, I sat on the balcony with a glass of whiskey and looked out at the city lights. It was the first time in months I didn't check my phone before bed. No wondering where she was. No paranoia. Just silence. Real silence. The healing kind. I started thinking about who I had been before her. Before the lies. Before I shrank to fit the mold of the man she wanted, predictable, tame, safe. I had stopped playing guitar. Stopped hiking. Even stopped talking to some friends because she didn't vibe with them. That ended now. I picked up my guitar from the back of the closet, blew off the dust, and played. The strings were stiff. My fingers stumbled. But the sound, raw and perfect, was mine. And that was enough. Around midnight, I got a message from an unknown number. One sentence. You really ruined both our lives. No name, but I didn't need one. I blocked it. They had ruined themselves. I just stopped pretending it wasn't happening. And for the first time in what felt like years, I slept with the window open. No alarms. No locked doors. Because there was nothing left to hide from. Poiedziels, as. Counternew without titles. ChatGPT Poiedziel. A month passed. You'd be amazed how fast the human mind heals when the poison's finally gone. It wasn't some Hollywood moment where I suddenly found joy and danced around the kitchen. No. It was gradual. Quiet. Like watching bruises fade in the mirror. Every day, a little less pain. A little more me. I started running again. At first just a few blocks, but soon enough I was clocking miles before sunrise. I ran through the same streets where I used to drive home to her. Same houses. Same sidewalks. But everything looked different now. Not because they changed, because I did. People at work noticed too. You look lighter, one of my coworkers said. She was right. I was lighter. Not just from the workouts, but from dropping the dead weight of betrayal, lies, and the constant emotional second-guessing. I didn't check her social media. I didn't ask mutual friends. I didn't care. That chapter was closed, sealed, and buried so deep, even memory had to dig to find it. But closure has a way of testing you. It came on a Friday night. I was leaving the grocery store 2 bags in hand, just thinking about what movie to throw on when I saw her. Melissa. Alone. Sitting in her car in the lot. She didn't notice me at first. Her head was down, hands tied on the steering wheel. She looked hollow. Not the woman I married. Not even the woman who cheated. Just someone who had lost everything and didn't know who to blame. I could have walked past, but I didn't. She saw me. Eyes wide. She stepped out, called my name. I stopped a few feet from her. Said nothing. Tyler, she began. Her voice cracked like glass. You look different. I nodded. I feel different. She nodded too, awkward, unsure. I've been going to therapy. I'm trying to understand why I did what I did. I stared at her. You cheated. Lied. Laughed about it. With your friends. In our home. Her eyes welled. I know. I can't take it back. But I've changed. I tilted my head. You didn't change. You got caught. She flinched. I lost everything, she whispered. I thought maybe we could talk. Just talk. I looked at her. Really looked. And for the first time, I didn't feel pain or rage. I just felt pity. Melissa, I said, calm as stone, you didn't lose everything. You threw it away. I turned and walked away. She didn't follow. Didn't yell. Just stood there, small, like a shadow of a memory I'd already let go. And that night, I made steak. Opened a bottle of the same wine I once brought home to surprise her. Sat alone on my couch with music playing low in the background. And I smiled. Not because I was healed, but because I wasn't broken anymore. 2 months after the fallout, I stood in front of the mirror and didn't recognize the man staring back, in the best way possible. The tired eyes were gone. The fake smiles. The tension in my shoulders I hadn't even realized I carried every damn day. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was living. I changed the locks, the furniture, the damn scent of the house. No trace of her remained, not in the sheets, not in the pictures, not in my head. I burned the wedding album, not out of bitterness, but because it didn't belong in my story anymore. It was fiction. Nick? Last I heard, he'd moved cities. Word spreads fast when you cross a man who built everything from scratch. His name became poison in our circles. No one wanted him around. People remembered how he shook my hand on the altar, then stabbed me in the back while smiling. Melissa? She kept trying. One final email slipped through my filters a few days ago. I hope you find happiness. I don't think I ever deserved you. No reply. She was right. The truth is, I gave her everything, trust, loyalty, a future. And she used it like a welcome mat for betrayal. Lied to my face. Mocked me behind my back. Thought she could break me and I just crawl back for more. She underestimated what happens when a good man is pushed too far. But here's what I've learned. Betrayal isn't the end. It's a beginning. Because pain, when you face it head on, becomes fuel. The man she left? He's gone. The man I've become? He's sharper, stronger, colder, maybe, but freer. So if you're out there, someone going through what I did, listen close. Let them go. Let the lies burn. Let the silence teach you what love should have felt like. You don't need revenge. Just rebuild. And when they show up crying at your door, whispering apologies they should have screamed years ago, smile and close the door. Because peace is louder than any apology.